Hi all, my name is David from Internet of People, and today I'm going to introduce you to a series about self-sovereign identity, where I show you what a developer needs to know about these concepts and how they can implement it using the technology of Internet of People. The goal of this course is to educate and onboard developers who are concerned with providing privacy for their users, want to incorporate state-of-the-art digital identity solutions, or need a way to implement identity for their blockchain applications. The basic requirements to understand this course are public key cryptography, hash functions, and some knowledge of programming languages. If you don't know any of these, I suggest that you look online for some educational resources. The current problem of the internet is that big tech companies harvest personal data of their users for profit. And one of the problems here is that this way they gain a very large influence because they know what everybody does, when they do it, and with whom. Additionally, the user privacy is increasingly compromised because you see these recent scandals appear more frequently. And an online search for recent privacy scandals gave me these headlines. And here the problem is that you trust these big companies with your data, but they are incapable of safeguarding them. Additionally, I include an infographic with the most recent data breaches. So you can see that actually this is a big problem. Part of the problem is how identity works on the internet. So in order to fully understand this, I would like to walk you through the history of authentication. And before the internet, everyone had a physical wallet. Within this physical wallet, everybody had paper credentials issued by governmental bodies or trusted institutions, and they provided you with an identity. Here, your data was owned by you since you were the one who decided when you would show what kind of credential. With the advent of the internet, websites needed a way to do this digitally. So the username password paradigm was introduced. In order to log on, you needed a username and a password, which were two factors that only you could know combined. Nowadays, we see something that is called delegated authentication. This fancy word means that you could use your Google account or your GitHub account to log on to external websites. Here, the websites get your identity from Google and GitHub, and this means that they own your data. So let's think this through. Every time you log into such a website, Google gets a query from this website where they can request all the information. This means that Google, for example, now knows with what website you try to log on to and what you try to do. Advances in recent technologies enabled self-sovereign identity. Think of this as a digital equivalent of the physical wallet, where inside your digital wallet, you have credentials related to all these external service providers. Now, whenever you log in, you just take out your credential, show it to them, and then you can just put it back. Naturally, this happens in a frictionless and automated way so that your user is very aware of the underlying technology. The big benefit is that now the user is the one that, again, decides when to show what kind of data. Now, as a developer, you ask yourself now the following question. So why the heck would I even spend time on this? Which is a perfectly reasonable question, to be honest. And I will try to convince you that this is actually very important. The first reason is that the user can verify that his privacy is preserved due to our privacy by design approach and our commitment to open source. This means that everyone can and should verify that our software does what it is supposed to do. Our technology offers much stronger privacy guarantees than the GDPR law requires. This means that you do not have to care about GDPR or even future regulations. Implementing SSI into your application does not mean that you will lose functionality, except, of course, if your business model relies on harvesting your user data and selling it to other companies. This will become a bit more difficult, but let's hope you're not one of those guys. Additionally, you do not need a middleman. This makes things much more simple and also less costly because you do not have to pay them or you do not have to trust them to implement this rightly. You can do this all by yourself by implementing the tools we designed. These technologies are exciting and fun to learn. And to be honest, they are also unlikely to go away in the future. So if you like to be an early adopter and work with the most state-of-the-art technology, I would highly encourage you to watch this course. I think you will like it. Now that you know what we do and how you can benefit from it, let's talk a bit about the structure of the course. The course is divided into episodes, and each episode is divided into two parts. In the first part, the more theoretical part, we will talk about concept and technical details regarding our technology. In a second part, there will be a hands-on session where we will code the actual stuff we talked about in the first part. If you know some of the concepts, feel free to skip it and just go to the hands-on session. And you can also do it the reverse version. If you're only interested in technical concepts, you can also only watch those without having the hands-on session. The hands-on session, however, I think greatly improves your understanding of the technology itself. Here you can see some of the topics that we will discuss. I would highlight decentralized identifiers, DID documents, credentials, and so on and so forth. And we will see how to create them, interact with them, and so on. Now I will quickly introduce our technology stack. At the base, you can find our SDK, which is short for Software Development Kit, and it contains some concepts like, for example, our cryptographic key vault. This is used to access wallet, generate personas, and much more. The layer 1 is where our blockchain resides. So this is a fully decentralized public blockchain about which we do not have control. This can be used to send tokens, update rights, and so on. It is possible to build applications on top of a blockchain which have interesting properties due to the underlying architecture. These are called layer 2 applications, and an example of this is Morpheus, which is a project name for our self-sovereign identity system. Currently, our team is working hard on developing new layer 2 applications, so stay tuned for some more news from that. Finally, I would like to point out some resources that might be useful throughout this course. The links to these resources can be found below in the description. The first resource that I would like to point out is a website. Here you can find some more information about Internet of People and the services and products we offer. The next resource is the white paper. Here you can find some more detailed explanation of the vision of our company. And finally, I would like to point out the developer portal. Here you can find a more technical information. Since for us as developers, this is also the go-to place for information, I will show you where you can find the relevant stuff. Here you can see the IOP developer portal in front of you, and you can see that the menu is built up from different points. The Get Started part introduces you more to IOP and its technology stack, and on the blockchain menu, you can see how you can install and run a node yourself. If you're curious about more, I highly encourage you to visit it, but I would highlight two special menu points from here. The first one is a tutorial center. Here, you can see 3 tutorials, but they will be replenished with more in the future. And these tutorials contains how you can interact with our SDK. Throughout the course, we will see a lot of this code reappear, but we will also provide you a bit more than only is provided in Tutorial Center. The glossary is another important part where a dictionary can be found with important concepts related to our tools and technology. If you need a small reminder or forget what the abbreviation means, for example, you can find it here. For example, if you do not know what SSI means or you forgot it, you could just go to it and read this small text. So this was it for this episode. And if you got as excited about this technology as I got, then I highly encourage you to hit the subscribe button and then follow up with the next episode. See you there.